Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas and today we're going to be building a review section completely built in Framer. We can build it just like this where we have the name, we have this badge where it says verified buyer, we have the stars, we have the title of the review, we have the description. We could add an image, but in this case, we're not going to add an image. The only way we could add an image is if we use a tool called Framer Forms, which I have other videos in my channel talking about Framer Forms and doing some other Framer Form tutorials, right? And for the file upload, it costs $100. I totally, recommend you getting that if you are into these types of projects. But just for the sake of this video, so it's completely for free, just using Framer and CMS and Google Sheets, we're gonna do something like this where we have the name, verified buyer, stars, text, date, and we won't be adding this. So it would be like this, completely connected to your Framer CMS that will be connected to a form that you would be sending a verified buyer, once they purchase their product, right? And this form can also be done in Framer. So if that's interesting for you guys, let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm here in Framer and I built a dummy project where we have this product page, which is basically linked to a CMS collection where we have products, we have different categories, we have two categories. It's just dummy, So we have product A, which is a bundle, and then we have like these individual accessory products. So if we were to go back here, you can see the product bundle, then we have the different accessory products. So I just still built this quickly for the sake of this tutorial. And we want the comments to go underneath this particular section between the product details and the accessories, right? And I also built another page called form where we will be building a form that you would link to your, email newsletter or email confirmation. Once the person buys a particular product, they'll get this link and they can fill out the form, and then that would be synced to a Google Sheet, where in this Google Sheet you can filter, a different particular review. Say, okay, I like this review. Let's use this for this product, and then you can just sync it back into Framer and show it in Framer. So what we have to do is we have to first build a form. Let's just go step by step. Let's just build a form. Go like this. Put it smack in the middle. Let's make this height fit content. Let's add the other breakpoints so it can all be responsive. We want this form to be in its own stack. We want this stack to have a fill width perfect. We want the stack to have certain padding on the top, bottom, right and left. And we can go back home and copy this text, for example, this text block, and go back to our form page and paste that above this, make this. Well, we can either keep it like this, or we can make it like this, where this would be basically centered in the middle. Go like this. Gotta make the text also centered. After a few adjustments, we'll slowly get there. Just have to be center, and then we can make this text also centered. So let's say something like thanks for your purchase, right? And let's make this much shorter. And here, let's give this form a nice little border so we can actually see it. Perfect. Let's give this stack a nice gap so it's not so close. Something like this. And let's even give this page its own nav bar, right? Where's my little nav bar? Somewhere here. Well, we don't really need it for now. So, okay, so we have our form, we have the name, and we want to add different inputs, right? So we have the email. Is that really important? I would say no. We can say name, subject, and this would be not an email input, it would be a text input, and we would say a review title. We can call this title. We can duplicate this and turn this into a text area, and we can call this review or description. We can name this like review description. And then we can have different selectors here. So instead of location, we can call this rating. And then here we have different ratings, right? We have 1, 1. We have 2, 2, and then we have to add the rest, which would be 3, 3. I just want to make sure that everything is looking consistent. Then we want to add the 4. Then we want to add the 5. So this rating is going to basically, if we go back to Chrome, reflect on the amount of stars that we're going to have here, right? We can either have 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. So we have this done, this done, this done, this as well. And I believe that should be it. And we can also add this, for example, too small, true to size, too large. So we can also use this as a type of selector. So we can do that as well. So let's go back to Framer and we can copy this one over here. Actually, let me see if it's so we can call this rating. We can call this description. We have to make sure that everything is different here. Title, name, okay. And then we're gonna duplicate this and we're gonna call this fit, and fit, and let's delete, we only need 3. This one's gonna be called too small, too small. Let me see how that would look like in the preview. So if I were to just go here, I just want to make sure that the title is the bottom one. Okay, good. So we got that. Too small. Perfect. Perfect. And then too big. Too large. Too large. Okay. So this is the fit required, yes. Submit. And basically when we submit, we want to connect this to a Google Sheet, right? So if I were to click on this form, I would send to, we can either do a webhook and send it to Zapier, for example, but in this case, we just want to do Google Sheets. I'm going to put my personal email. So now I validated my personal email. Now what we're going to do, actually, I want to make sure that this frame is not set to fixed, but fill, and give it a max width so that it can be something like 600. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we want to now connect this. So our form has this little warning sign because we haven't really connected it yet. So let's just go here, add a sheet. Let's call it review submissions. Create. Now if I were to head to Google, to my Google, suite, whatever you call it, we're gonna see a new sheet that was created called review submissions, right? So this is it. So if you click on here, it takes you right there. And now basically what it's gonna do is that every time you submit something, it's gonna create new rows with those form submissions, right? So let's just do that. Let's go here and let's actually publish this, update, and go here. And I'm going to basically submit a few things. So I'm going to put my name. Fantastic quality stuff. This stuff was so good. It got me going in the morning and I couldn't stop. Perfect. So morning. Rating 5. Fit. Perfect. Submit. Thank you, Chrome. There we have it. So we have date, fit, name, title, description, rating. Is that everything we were asking for? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So everything synced perfectly. Now, what we have to do is we have to go to our CMS and basically bring that data from the form into Framer. So if we were to go here and we were to right click, click on import, go to Google Sheets, and we put review submissions, click on create. Now what we do is we have to upload the URL of this Google Sheet. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to remove this restricted to anyone with the link. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to go back to Framer, paste sheet 1 because there is only sheet 1 down here. Then go back to Framer again, click on next, and then we see the date. The date is going to be, let's keep it as a, let's put it as a date. The fit is going to be a string. The name is going to be a string, title string. Actually, let's put this as formatted text. And the rating is going to be a number. And let's import. And now, boom, we have number, date, slug. But we actually have a problem because now the slug is basically the date. And we want to, let's just remove that again. We have to import it again and make sure that the slug is the name, right? So let's import, go back to Google Sheets. We put review submissions, right? Create, paste the URL, sheet 1, next. Now here, slug field is not date, it's name. Or we can put title or description. I'm going to put, in this case, name. So the date is going to be date, fit, name is going to be formatted text, title also can be formatted text, rating can be number. And if we were to use Framer Forms, we can import images as well, right? And Framer Forms basically use AWS to store their images. So that's really cool. So we have the name, Lucas Marjorie, fit. We have the name, title, description, rating. Perfect. So now that we got that, we can actually build a section in our product page underneath here that links this data and portrays it visually. So now what I want to do is I want to go up here on the plus sign, click on collections, and then we have these 3. So we're going to use our review submissions. We're going to drag it down here. And let's just put it right here. So we have it in between these 2 sections. We want to add a stack so that this stack can be filled. We want this, so we can see kind of that in this stack, the padding is 20 on the right and left, so we can do something similar. So we can make this fill and add a padding here to the top. So the top can be 60, bottom can be 60 as well. Right and left will be 20. Okay, and then we have our different things here. So I'm going to go back to Chrome, go back to this particular design here, and we want to make something very similar to this. So let's just copy this, and let's bring this over here. And let's start importing everything. So we're going to do it step by step. We're going to go from left to right. So this is going to be not fit, it's going to be, let's just put name as a placeholder, set variable to name. So this is the name. Perfect. The name should be set to fill. And this stack should actually be also set to fill. And we have 2 stacks here. So let's just duplicate this. Or let's just leave it as it was before. Let's just do this. Okay. So we have this, which is the name. we're gonna duplicate this, and this is gonna be going downwards, and this will not have any link to the CMS. It will be basically just a content called verified buyer, and where is it? Verified buyer. Okay, it's not working. Okay, here it is, verified buyer. And then we can make this white, and let's make it like a different, so this is a different font size, so that's good. Let's grab this and make this left aligned. No way, is it here? No, it's over here. Left aligned. So we have our verified buyer. Let's put this little icon so we can add like a check mark icon underneath check mark. Is there like one with a circle? Yeah, check circle. And we can make this white as well. Let's make it all just white. Make it smaller. Boom. Put it here. Right here. Perfect. And then let's add this to a stack. This stack will be going like this. And boom. We have something looking nicer. This gap can be less, maybe 6. And this can be going the start. And so this height, we don't have it. I totally forgot about that. We should have, added that, but let's just remove that for now. By the way, I'm gonna have the actual remixing in the description below. I'll add this height as well, I promise. So now let's do the other side. So we have this stack. We want to duplicate this, and we want this to be different now. So now we're basically sharing everything here. And now what we want to do is we want to change this to the rating. And what we got to do is we got to set like a filter here. So whenever it's 5 stars, it's because it's 5, the number 5. If it's 4 stars, it's because of the number 4, and etc. Right? So we have to set some type of visibility thing for that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this icon. I'm going to remove it, put it on the side, and then I'm going to bring it back in here. And I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to replace this with a star. So star, and duplicate it so it's 5, and then select all these, add it to another stack, and make it like this. Put it maybe 2 pixels, and put this start, distribute. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a specific visibility condition to all of these. So we're going to see visible. So let's see how we do it. Set visible. So if the rating is how would we do it? Greater than or equal to 1. And we have to do the same thing, but for 2 here. So visibility rating greater than or equal to 2. Same with here. Star visibility, visible rating greater than or equal to 3. So this is why it's important to have the number for this particular one, right? I'm just going to make sure, okay, conditions there. Visible, set variable to number, rating greater than or equal to 4. And then the same thing here. Visible, rating greater than or equal to 5. And then what I can do is I can try to, let's put this over here, and let's add a gap here, maybe 120, something like that. or maybe we can put it less. And let me just finish this, and then we're going to test to see if this actually works with the, with the rating. So let's just duplicate this down here. Let's remove this, and well, let's remove this as well. This is going to be the title. It won't be verified buyer. It will be set variable to title, and the title would have to be, well, fill. And then this one will be the description. We're gonna, in a second, clean up that whole thing. So this description will be make sure that we have to paragraph text. Let's make sure that it's like different, like something like this. Perfect. And then this has to be set to fill. And now we can get this main one and set it to fill here. Perfect. All right, and then let's do this one with the bottom. So this one with the bottom, too small, true to size, too large. So basically what we gotta do is we gotta make like a new little stack here. And we'll just duplicate this 3 times, and we call this one would be removed, too small. Is it there? No, it's not. Too small. Okay, let's do it some other way. Let's just remove this. Remove these stacks. Let's get this. Duplicate this. Move this out here, and then move this back in here. Remove this check mark. And then we can say too small, too small. Perfect. Perfect. And then the other one would be too large. And then we just get all of these stacks. Add another stack, make it like this. Put it like this, start. And then what we want to do, well, let's actually make this fit the content. And then we want to put some type of line with a circle over it. How would we do that? Maybe what we can do is we can, underneath this, duplicate this, and instead of the text, we can make the stacks have a fill. Have a certain fill. Let's just delete these. And each stack will have a fixed height. And when it's, underlined, we can add a stack here so that the gap is less. Maybe 2. Let's actually make sure that each one, that these also have a fixed. And that these are centered. I'm just right here, just trying to see what we can build. So center, and then these would be how long? 90 pixels. Okay, so let's do the same for these guys. Fixed 90 pixels. And then this one, we would set the visibility to set visible if the rating, no, what was it? The fit contains or equals too small. No. Let me see. Visible. If the date fit. So I'm freestyling here, by the way. Fit, no, was it fit? Yeah, fit contains too small. Oh, okay, I understand. So we don't want it to be like with the visibility. We want it to be with the fill. So if the fill, okay, fit contains too small, when yes, make it like this. When no, make it 10%. Perfect. So we got that. Okay, let's do the same here. Fill, variable, fit contains, perfect. When yes, when no, 10%. This one the same with the fill. Fill, set variable to fit contains too large. If not, we do it again, white with 10%. So this, in this case, it's perfect. So the perfect one is highlighting, right? And then we could just go like this, increase the gap by a little bit, and then we have the perfect, right? So it's not going to be the same design as this, but in a way it's maybe even nicer. So let's increase the gap here. Maybe we want to put these two together. So let's do that. So it's not such a big gap. And we can put this one with this one together. So it's also not such a big gap, right? Maybe this one can be like 5. Okay. And then we can get this, no. Oh yeah, this, and align it at the top. And maybe for this one, it can be at the bottom like this. And it's looking nice, actually. So this is basically it. Oh, we also need to add the date. We can add the date, you know, underneath here. It doesn't have to be on the right side. And we can also even add that height thing, but I think I'll just do that afterwards because then this tutorial would be too long. But now what we can do is we can test this out. I have this stack. Let's do another form submission and then let's resync this. So I'm going to put play. I'm going to put like Jenny Smith. It was okay. I mean, it helped a lot, but it wasn't totally what I paid for. And then rating can be 3, and then fit can be too large. Submit. Then we go back to Chrome, review submissions. You can see that it's like this. We go back to Framer. We go to our CMS and we sync. And it should sync in a couple of seconds. Let's see how long it takes. And then you would basically get something like this where we have a synced information. We go back to our page where we were editing, and we have this problem where we have the name. Since we have 2 of these stacks, right? It's basically stacking under each other. So now we have to add some type of filtering that kind of knows, it kind of like limits the amount of reviews for each stack, right? So yeah, at the end, after a few different filters and conditions, you can have something looking like this, perfectly responsive. If you're interested in seeing this, again, check the description below. I'll have a link to this. But basically, this was a nice little fun tutorial. I had a lot of fun. I got this idea this morning while working. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or just hit me up on Discord. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.